to all in your own channel NCERT e-teaching. I am Dr. Kailash Meena, going to discuss about chapter number 8 of class 8 science, which is cell structure and functions. So in class 7th also we got some idea about cells in form of some boxes or captions in our chapters, which are nutrition in plants, nutrition in animals, and other chapters. So definitely cell is a topic of branch of science which is biology. You will learn about these branches, physics, chemistry and biology, in higher classes in class 9, 10 and 11th and 12th. So biology is the branch of science which deals with living organisms, and cells are the basic unit of life. It means all living organisms, all structures of living organisms, anything which we call living is made up of cells. Okay, no matter it is very tiny or it is very big, it will be always made up of cells. Cells are microscopic, that is why you may not be familiar with cells. In general, we are not familiar with cells because they are microscopic, and the things we don't see, generally we do not talk about those things. Then the question will arise, why we are talking about cells? Because they are very important. As in chapter number 2, microorganisms, which we have discussed, you can check out my video of chapter number 2 of class 8 science, which is microorganisms. There I also discussed about some idea of shape and size of cells, and there I took reference of cells because microorganisms are microscopic and they are made up of single cells. That is why it is very relevant when we talk about cells or we talk about microorganisms. So first let's see what topics we are going to cover. So I took these topics as it is from NCERT. So there chapter number 8, and every heading is like this: 8.8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. For example, it means chapter number 8, point number 1, discovery of the cell. The cell organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size. Then structure and function of cell. Then parts of the cell. There are some parts which are mentioned here: cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus, and there are many more parts, and comparison of plants and animal cells. So in class 8 we will have very elementary, very basic idea about cells. Okay, we are going to learn more about cells in upcoming class, which is class 9th, and if we are opting for biology, we are going to learn in class 11th also in great detail. So let's have some idea in very smooth manner. Okay, there is no burden of learning each and everything about cell, but you must have a general idea what we are talking about when we talk about cells. So first thing, discovery of the cell. So Robert Hooke, this is the scientist who discovered the cell in 1965, 60s, and actually as I have mentioned, as we all know, that all living things are made up of cells, all living structures are made up of cells. Nothing less than cell is considered as alive. So here you can see cork cell. What do you mean by cork cell? If you see the wood, na, it is a woody material in plants, slightly softer than wood. So no matter it is wood or cork or leaf or anything, it will be made up of cells. And what do you mean by cells? Cells, the meaning of cell is small chamber or closed chamber. So when Robert Hooke saw these chambers in microscope, okay, definitely he was able to see cells or the chambers only because of the discovery of microscope. So one question can arise in your mind, then why we were able to discover cells in 1960s? Why not earlier? The simple answer is because there was no technique available. So we didn't have any microscope, and that is why we were not able to see cells. So as soon as we discovered the microscope, people were able to see microscopic things, for example microorganisms, bacteria and other creatures, amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, as well as the cells. And interestingly, these microorganisms are nothing but they are alive cells and they are independent. It means their complete body is made up of single cell. Okay, let me discuss that thing also. So we see many organisms which are single cellular, and the creatures we see in our day-to-day life, for example elephant, a tree, cat, dog, tiger, zebra, lizard, humans of course, fly, butterfly, anything which we are able to see, any creature is made up of many cells. Many means billions of cells, trillions of cells. Okay, so an ant is made up of many cells. So you can imagine how small they are. And you see, we can you can feel the sand particles or salt particles. So if you can feel, if you can see, that is not microscopic. So you can imagine how small a cell is. And if you have some idea of measurements, okay, if you can refer, you please refer to my video of chapter number 2, which is microorganisms. You can see the link in the description below, or you can check out the playlist also. There I have discussed some idea about measurements. Okay, I will discuss that idea in brief also. Then we will discuss how tiny they are. So again, as I was mentioning, that there are single cellular creatures as well as there are multicellular creatures. So amoeba and paramecium, I am sure that you have heard these names before. Amoeba, paramecium, plasmodium, chlamydomonas, there are so many. These are single cellular creatures, and as I have mentioned, there are multicellular creatures. So the point here is to introduce these concepts only. So you must be aware about what is single cellular and what is multicellular. Now, what is the size of a cell? What is the shape of a cell? So let me tell you that cells come into variety of shapes. When you will learn or study in higher classes about cells, you will come to know there are so many types of cells. And as a student of science, or as a human being also, you can also imagine that your hairs, your skin, your blood, your intestine, your lungs, bone, everything of you is made up of cells. So you can imagine that every part is completely different if you compare blood with bone. So you can easily assume that okay, the cells which are making blood, the cells which are making bone, the cells which are making our skin, they must be different. Okay, so cells come into different shapes and sizes. Here are some examples. It is an amoeba, which is a single cellular creatures. These are some cells of some cluster of muscle cells. These are red blood cells. Okay, and these are some pipe-like cells of plants. Okay, plants have some. If you have heard these terms in class 7th about transport in plants, xylem and phloem. So xylem and phloem are what? They are plant tissues, and plant tissues are made up of plant cells. So these are some elongated hollow cells which helps in the movement of water. This is a nerve cell. Our brain and spinal cord and all nerves are made up of nerve cells. So here you can see many types of cells, and they have very completely different shape and size. Okay, now when it comes to size, as I have discussed, they are of different sizes. Okay, students, interestingly, human egg and sperm are also single cells. I'm sure that you have heard about sperms and eggs. And the chicken egg, you see the egg in market for consumption, and I am sure that you have seen some eggs of birds or lizard. Okay, so these eggs are also single cells. So yes, there are some cells which you can see with your naked eye or unaided eye or without microscope. Okay, so cells are the eggs are also single cells, and here you can see some images of microscopic creatures, or most of them are bacteria. Okay, so these are some bacterial cells. And when it comes to size, okay, let me discuss size also, but first you see these images. So these three images are of onion peel cell. these cells looks like this in microscope. These three images are of human cheek cell. So why I have shown these images of onion peel cell in case of plant and human cheek cell in case of animals or humans, because in your class 9th and upcoming classes you are going to make these slides in your practical syllabus, very easy to make, okay, and there you will see these cells how they look like in the microscope, and you will also learn how to make slides. Okay, let us discuss about the size and shape. So if you are aware about the measurements, you can refer my as I have said that you can refer my video of chapter number 2, which is microorganisms, friends and foe. So there I mentioned that if you compare with the centimeters and meters in your scale, okay, 1 millimeter is the thing you can see in your scale, okay. So in your scale you see there are 15, it is 15 centimeter long, and in 1 centimeter you will see 10 lines. So the gap between two tiny lines is called 1 millimeter, okay. So we have 1000 millimeters in 1 meter, okay. In the similar way we have again 1000 micrometers in 1 millimeter, okay. Are you getting my point? So if you are able to make 1000 lines in 1 millimeter, it is beyond our imagination, but if you are able, then it will be a micrometer. And cells, bacteria and cellular organs or the parts of a cell are they come in the measurement of micrometer. And if you want to learn more, there is one thing which is called nanometer. So nanometer is again 1000 times small than micrometer. And if you heard about viruses, I am sure that in today's time you have heard about coronavirus. So all viruses, most of the viruses are they come into nanometers. So they are very small. They are 1000 times smaller than bacteria. So this is a general idea about the size of cell. But we can say in general, cells are very very tiny. They are microscopic. Micro means 10 to the power minus 6. It means 1 divided by 10 lakh. If you divide 1 meter by 10 lakh, you will get micrometer. So and the name microscope, micrometer, microscopic. So the things you you are able to see in microscope are called microscopic. And why the device or instrument is called microscope? Because with the help of that combination of lenses, we are able to see the things which are very very small, 10 lakh times smaller than a meter, okay, or 1000 times smaller than 1 millimeter. Okay, and this image, okay, this image I got as it is from NCERT textbook, because as my the channel name is NCERT teaching, and as I always mention that we never forget NCERT. We must stick to NCERT to complete our syllabus and to know for any topic in how much depth we must go, okay. So here we see oversimplified diagram of a plant cell and an animal cell. So here you can see some labeling, and if you see the labeling, it will be helpful for the upcoming slide presentation, okay. Cell membrane, vacuole, nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane. So here you can see both the cells, plant cell and animal cell, have cell membrane. Both cells have cell vacuoles, both cells have nucleus, and both cells have cytoplasm. This is the elementary idea. So here this by looking at this diagram we can see, okay, cell is nothing but a like a balloon we use in Holi, okay, filled with some liquid. So it have a membrane, it have a boundary. So cell have a boundary, that boundary is called cell membrane, okay. Plant cells also have a tough boundary over the cell membrane, which is called cell wall, okay. We will discuss these parts separately. So no cell can exist without cell membrane, and in the cell a cell membrane have a fluid, okay, say semi fluid, which is called cytoplasm. This cytoplasm may have or may not have many parts which are called cell organelles, okay. So let's talk about these parts. So the small chambers or parts in certain cells we see are called cell organelles, and here are some names of these organelles. Let us see. Cell membrane, okay, the pouch or the boundary, the cell membrane itself is considered as cell organelle. Why? Because it is very useful, it performs certain tasks which are very essential for cell. Nucleus, oh, very important. You can you see sphere within a sphere in some cells. In this cell you see one sphere within a sphere. Okay, so nucleus is a sphere within a sphere, very important. Okay, then what we see, okay, other organelles, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosome, vacuoles. Okay, we will discuss those separately. So what is written here? Mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, vacuoles are certain names or some names of cell organelles. We also have lysosomes, chloroplast and other cell organelles. And cell membrane and nucleus are so important that in this text they are considered apart from the cell organelles. So simply here I can say that cell, any kind of cell will have a cell membrane. Without cell membrane we cannot say something is a cell, and that is why we cannot say the viruses are cells. Even many people do not consider viruses as alive. Why? Because they don't have cell membrane, they don't have cytoplasm and some biochemical reactions. Okay, mitochondria. So this name may seem strange to you children because you are listening this name for the first time, but as you will progress in your science syllabus, as you will progress in your biology syllabus, this name will be very familiar with you. Mitochondria, a plural term. Okay, mitochondrion is a single term. What is mitochondria? Very simple. Mitochondria is a chamber within cell which produces energy. Okay, for class 8 level this will be sufficient for you. This is the internal structure of mitochondria, animated and in real electron microscope, but you need not to remember these details. Okay, what I am trying to say, that mitochondria is a small chamber in cell, although cells are very small, so it is smaller than cell, which is producing energy required for the cell. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Okay, before discussing these chambers of a cell, let us learn about prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So girls and boys, students of class 8 science, as I have said that any cell will have a boundary or membrane, and enclosed with this membrane we have a sphere which is called a cell. Okay, now this membrane enclosed cell, this membrane enclosed cell may have some other membrane enclosed small chamber. Let me use another color. Okay, membrane enclosed small chambers. These membrane enclosed small chambers are called cell organelles. Okay, but not every cell have this point I wanted to clear. Okay, for example, if you see these cylindrical cells, they don't have any chambers, they don't have any internal chambers. So if we have these kinds of cell only having cell membrane, only having cytoplasm, they are called prokaryotic cell. Okay, very important term for the rest of your science syllabus or for the rest of your biology syllabus. Prokaryotic cell. And the cell which have another small chambers is called a eukaryotic cell. Eu means true, karyon means kernel, or you can resemble seed. Okay, seed in a fruit, for example, seed, you see mango seed in the fruit, like this. So again I will repeat this because it is very important. Eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. What do you mean by a eukaryotic cell? A cell which have many membrane bound small pouches, and these pouches are called cell organelles. So the cell which have many cell organelles is called a eukaryotic cell, and the cell which do not have any type of cell organelles is called a prokaryotic cell. And students, you will be surprised to know that all bacteria are prokaryotes. So you know the examples of prokaryotic cells, okay, but you have not studied in this way. So this chapter will give some names to your past understandings about the living world. So when it comes to eukaryotic cell, we will discuss two type of eukaryotic cell. One is plant cell, one is animal cell. Okay. So here I hope that I am clear. Okay, one more diagram will help you. So here you can see two type of cells. This green one is a plant cell and this blue one is an animal cell. Okay, in both of the cell I think that you can easily see the similarities. Okay, we have some similar chambers, or cell organelles, and of course we also have some special chambers. For example, these green chambers we don't have in this cell. Okay, this large bubble we don't have in this cell. So yes, you can easily see there are some common things and there are some things which are present or absent in both of the cells. Okay, so this is the comparison of a plant cell and an animal cell. First we will discuss about the cell organelles, then we will compare plant and animal cell. Okay, so again I am coming back to those slides about the parts of the cell. So I hope that the concept of prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell is clear to you. So we were discussing about mitochondria. Okay, so when it comes to mitochondria is absent in what? Absent in prokaryotic cell. Okay, every type of cell organelle, every cell organelle will be absent in a prokaryotic cell. So when I talk about cell organelles, when I talk about mitochondria, when I talk about chloroplast, lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum, these all chambers, these all cell organelles are about eukaryotic cells. Okay, no, there is no need to be panic. You must not overwhelmed by the information. Okay, it is very introductory chapter for class 8, and in your upcoming classes you will learn more and more about cells, and all organelles will be familiar to you. So let's start with our next cell organelle. So as we have discussed about mitochondria, it is the powerhouse of a cell. What it do? What it does? It generates energy. Okay, one more term I want to introduce to you. It may not be difficult for you. ATP. Okay, so mitochondria generate some molecules which are called adenosine triphosphates, or ATP simply. These molecules are called energy coins for our cell. Why? Because when our cells need energy, they utilize these molecules. Okay, actually they split those molecules. So because mitochondria is producing, or mitochondria are producing these molecules, they are called energy houses of cells or powerhouse of our cell. Okay, next cell organelle is lysosome. Okay, lysosome, very simple cell organelle. It have some digestive enzymes or degradative enzymes. Okay, so in a cell, if cell wants to degrade something, why a cell wants to degrade something? Very simple. If it is an amoeba cell, then if you have heard about amoeba in your previous chapters or previous classes, amoeba is a single cell, a creature which have only one cell, which feeds on another cells, for example bacterial cells or another cells. So the thing it want to consume, okay, the amoeba wants to degrade that thing now. So that amoeba will degrade that thing with lysosome. Okay, and in our cells, in humans, we humans and other creatures also, if we do not need any cell organelle, if any cell organelle is none of use, and if we have some unwanted molecules, okay, lysosome will help to degrade them or digest them. Okay, so I think this information will be sufficient for you, and the images I included in this presentation only for the reference, so you can visualize the cell organelle. And I have included two types of images. One is animated, another one is electron micrograph. Okay, so no need to be panic, no need to remember them. Okay, stick to your NCERT. Only you can visualize, and if it is helpful for you, then you can revisit this video. Next thing, endoplasmic reticulum or rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, let me tell you that in our cell we have a huge system made up of membranes. Okay, what do you mean by membrane? Membrane is skin of cell is called cell membrane. Skin of any cell organelle is called that membrane of mitochondria, of chloroplast, of lysosome. So in the similar way, we have a huge endomembrane system. Okay, one more thing, what do you mean by endo and what do you mean by exo? Endo means within, exo means outside. Okay, so whenever you see these two terms in biology or in science, you will automatically understand endo means within, exo means outside. So endomembrane system means what? Very simple, a system made up of membranes. Where? In a cell. So rough endoplasmic reticulum is also a part of endomembrane system. What it do? What it does? Very simple. Endoplasmic reticulum makes proteins. Okay, so I am sure that you have heard about proteins in your class 6th when you learnt about nutrition. So our cells make protein, not only our cells, bacterial cells also, plant cells also, any cell, okay, makes some proteins. Where? On the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, are you able to notice, students, these small beads on this membrane? Okay, you can see these small beads. These small beads are called ribosomes. Okay, these are called ribosomes. So ribosomes are also small particles, you can say, in a cell, and they do not have any membrane, and that is the reason, that is why we see ribosomes in bacteria, we see ribosomes in plant cell, we see ribosome in human cell, we see ribosome in every cell. So every cell have ribosome. So students, this will help you when you differentiate plant cell and animal cell, when you differentiate animal cell and bacterial cell. We know that ribosomes are the cell organelle which every cell have, and they don't have any membrane, because bacterial cells or prokaryotic cells do not have any membrane enclosed chambers, which are called what? Cell organelles. So what are we seeing? We see ribosomes on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum, and you can simply say, because of the presence of ribosomes, this reticulum seems rough. The name you can see, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why rough? Because of ribosomes, and because of that, rough endoplasmic reticulum can make proteins, because ribosomes actually they are making proteins. Again, Golgi apparatus. So as students, I was mentioning that okay, our cells have an endomembrane system, a system made up of membranes for transport of materials, for construction of materials. Okay, so rough endoplasmic reticulum was constructing what? It was constructing some proteins, and if any endoplasmic reticulum don't have any ribosomes, it will be called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and it will make some lipids or fats. When endoplasmic reticulum is making fats, proteins, then who is going to transport those fats and proteins and materials? The answer is Golgi apparatus or Golgi body. Okay, so Golgi body is a cell organelle which receives materials from rough endoplasmic reticulum and other parts also, from other parts, and it ships, actually it is called cargo of a cell. Why? Because it decides where to deliver those proteins or materials with the help of some membrane enclosed spheres, which are called vesicles. Okay, so this thing you need to remember about the Golgi apparatus. So here you can see the functioning of endomembrane system. So what we have discussed till now, that rough endoplasmic reticulum is making proteins and packing them in some vesicles. Those vesicles will approach to the Golgi body. Again it will attach to the Golgi body, and Golgi body will transport the proteins where they need to be. Okay, and here you can see smooth endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes. What is the difference? Rough endoplasmic reticulum have ribosomes on its surface, but a smooth endoplasmic reticulum don't have any type of ribosomes, and hence you can see the names rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Or simply you can remember endoplasmic reticulum, because in class 8 level you need not to remember these details. If you are comfortable with these details, okay, it will be okay, and it will be helpful for your upcoming syllabus. So here you can see the steps involved in endomembrane system. So if you are interested, you can take screenshots and you can refer, otherwise no need to remember. Oh, here comes the most important cell organelle, and some books do not consider it as cell organelle. They treat nucleus as separate. Okay, in your textbook you can see cell membrane and nucleus treated separately, and rest of the cell organelles treated separately. So what is the nucleus? What is the function of nucleus? Very simple. How can I tell you? If you have heard students about DNA, I am sure that you have heard this term before, although it is not in our syllabus, but I am very sure that you have heard about DNA. In oversimplified term, I can say that DNA is a thread-like material. DNA is a thread-like material which is present in each and every cell of our body. Are you getting my point? Each and every cell of our body, each and every cell of any creature, no matter it is bacteria or giraffe or zebra or elephant, okay, or any type of amoeba, paramecium, okay, bird, any living creature have a thread like material in each and every cell, which is called DNA, okay, or deoxyribonucleic acid. It is very important thread. It have all the information. What do you mean by information? Students, in class 8 level you can easily understand that a cockroach is different from frog, and a frog is different from human, a lizard is different from zebra. So these differences make some information, na? If you want to note the if you visit to a zoo or a garden, and if you want to note the differences in your notebook, you will enter some information, na? That okay, it have this type of feature, it have that type of feature. So the complete information for cockroach is there in the DNA of cockroach, in every cell of the cockroach. I am repeating again, the information for making zebra is there in every cell of zebra, okay. So now you have an idea about cell, now you have an idea about cell membrane, cell cytoplasm and cell organelles. Then you will ask, okay sir, where we can find that very much important material which is called DNA, which is a thread like structure. So my answer will be the nucleus, okay, the nucleus. So nucleus is very important because it have DNA. You can see in this diagram thread like material, okay, and it have certain other parts. We must not bother about those part, okay. So this thread like part, okay, which have DNA is called chromatin. Of course we have a nuclear membrane because it looks like a sphere within a sphere, so it must have one boundary, and it have other parts of also, okay. And apart from nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi body, and we have other cell organelles also, for example vacuoles and chloroplast, okay. I will discuss vacuole and chloroplast in my next presentation. So I am sure that we all are aware about the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. We have discussed this before, okay. Again I am comparing, you can take a screenshot also, students. Now you can see the organelles which we have discussed till now, for example nucleus, both animal cells and plant cells have nucleus, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, both animal cells and plant cells have. You can see in the visual, plant cell and animal cell have mitochondria, because we all know na, that plants, whether we are plants or animals, we need energy, we need genetic information, and we need protein and fats, and we all have Golgi apparatus. Okay students, what is the difference you see in plants and animals? The most simple difference is they are green. And in class 7th, in the initial chapters, what we have learned in nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals, that plants are green because they have one cell organelle which is called chloroplast in their cells, and that have a green pigment or the green material which is called chlorophyll. And with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight and groundwater, plants are able to make their own food, and that is why they are called autotrophic. So here you can see these green chambers which are absent in animal cell, they are present in plant cell, they are called chloroplast, okay. So chloroplast is a cell organelle which is present in plant cell, not present in animal cell. So this is the difference between plant and animal cell, very simple. And we have a tough covering on cell membrane which is called cell wall. So this is again the difference. Vacuoles, okay, vacuoles may be present in animal cell, may be present in plant cell, but yes, in plant cell we see more prominent vacuoles. In animal we rarely see vacuoles, okay. So in class 8 level, if you consider that plant cells have vacuoles, animal cells don't have vacuoles, it will be true or it will be helpful for the difference, okay. Otherwise you can say, okay, plants have more vacuoles, animal cells have less vacuoles or small vacuoles. And here you can see some cell organelle which is called centriole here. So animal cells have centriole, plant cell don't have any centriole. So based upon this information, we can make a table and we can compare girls and boys, a plant cell and an animal cell. Okay, let's try to do that. But first let's talk about those organelles which are present in plant cell and which are absent in animal cell. So the very first and very important is chloroplast. I am sure that you all are aware about chloroplast. I am repeating again, chloroplast is a cell organelle in plant cells which have a green pigment which is called chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is responsible for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so if you want to revise chapter number 1 and 2 of class 7th, which was nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals, again you can check out the link in description, and you can check out the playlist also. I have made some videos of class 7th also if you want to record. Then plant cell wall. So plant cell wall is a tough cementing material between plant cell, and you can easily see student that plants cannot move, we animals can move. So we animals are more flexible than plants. Why? Because of the absence of cell wall in our cells. And vacuoles you can see clearly. Okay, we need only general idea. Okay, this diagram, because of these diagrams we need not to be panicked, and this diagrammatic table will help you to understand the differences between plant cell and animal cells more clearly. So nucleus, both cells have. Cytoskeleton, although I have not discussed, cytoskeleton is made up of some protein fibers which makes the shape and size of the cell. Okay, present in both of the cells. Mitochondrion or plural mitochondria present in both of the cells. Lysosomes present in both of the cells. Rough endoplasmic reticulum which synthesizes proteins present in both of the cells. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum which synthesizes fats and lipids present in both cells. Golgi apparatus, cargo of the cell, present in both cells. Cell wall present only in plant cells, not in animal cell. Vacuoles present in plant cells, sometimes it present in animal cell. So if you see your Ncert diagram, you will come to know. Then chloroplast, we all know it is present in plant cell, absent in animal cell. So this table not only help you to compare plant and animal cell, but also you can revise the function of cell organelles. Okay, so you only by looking at this table you will be able to summarize all the functions of cell organelles. Okay, now here I have taken table number 8.1 as it is from NCERT. So this table compared 2 points. We have 7 points for comparing plant cell and animal cell. Here you can easily see, and rest of the 5 points we need to fill. And after this discussion, I am sure that we all are able to fill this table. So when it comes to nucleus, present in both of the cells, nuclear membrane in both of cells, cytoplasm both of cells, plastid. Okay, plastid, when it comes to plastid, okay, chloroplast is also a type of plastid. So you can say, okay, plastids are present in plant cell, but they are absent in animal cell. Okay, again vacuole, as I have said, present in plant cell, absent in animal cell, or very rarely in animal cell or small. Okay, so here you can see the difference. I think this point must be rearranged. Okay, I think this presentation, this large in size must be in plant cell, smaller in size must be in animal cell. Okay, so this is how you can complete this table. Next, the summary. So this summary you can find in your Ncert textbook also, what you have learned. So your every chapter in your class 8 science will include these topics or these points which will summarize the complete chapter. It will be very helpful. That is why I included this slide in my presentation. You can refer to your Ncert textbook also. So thank you so much for being till end, and in my next presentation I will try to cover chapter number 9 of class 8 science, which is reproduction in animals. And if you have understood this chapter well, then it will be easier for you all to understand chapter number 9. And this chapter is very crucial for your upcoming biology syllabus also. So I will request you, I am requesting you to all. So you can, if you don't understood this video or this presentation, you must revise this 1 or 2 times, and you must refer to your NCERT textbook, so that you can absorb all the concepts well. Although I think that all concepts are very easily very summarized form, or in very easy term are included in this presentation as well as in your textbook. So by these points I will end this presentation. Till then, take care and bye.